ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम, कैंटो 10, चैप्टर 48, टेक्स्ट नंबर 12। So there is a series of verses from 12 to 18 that I am supposed to discuss upon. Hence, we would be reciting the text number 18 in chorus. Therein before, I would recite those verses in solo. Text number 12. Akrura bhavan Krishna sah Ramodhava prabhu किंचित चिकीर्षयन् प्रागात् अक्रूरः प्रियकाम्यया स तान्नवरश्रेष्ठान् नाराद्वीक्ष्य स्वबान्धवान् प्रत्युत्थाय प्रमुदितः परिष्वज्याभिनन्द्य च ननाम कृष्णं रामं च स तैराप्याभिवादितः पूजयामास विधिवत् कृतासनः परिग्रहान् पादावने जनीरापो धारयन् शिरसा नृप अहर्णे नाम्बरैर्दिव्यैर्गन्धस्रक् भूषणोत्तमैः अर्चित्वा शिरसा नम्य पादावङ्कगतौ मृजन् प्रश्रयावनतो क्रूरः कृष्णरामावभाषतः दिष्ट्या पापोहतः कंसः सानुगो वामिदं कुलं भवद्भ्याम् उद्धृतं कृच्छ्राद् दुरन्ताश्च समेधिताम्। Everyone please repeat after me. युवां प्रधान पुरुषो जगत हेतु जगन्मयो भवद्भ्यां न विना किंचित परमस्ति न चापरम। युवां प्रधान पुरुषौ जगत हेतु जगन्मयो भवद्भ्यां न विना किंचित परमस्ति न चापरम। युवां प्रधान पुरुषौ जगद हेतु जगन्मयो भवद्भ्यां न विना किंचित परमस्ति न चापरम। माता जी, word word meaning, translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki युवाम, you too, pradhana purusha, the original persons, jagat, of the universe, hetu, the causes, jagatmayo, identical with the universe, bhavadbhyam, than you, na, not, vina, apart from, kinchit, anything, param, cause, asti, there is, nacha, nor, aparam, product. You both are the original Supreme Person, the cause of the universe and its very substance. Not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product of creation exists apart from you. Purport. Apart, after praising Krishna and Balaram for having saved their dynasty, Akrura now points out that Lord actually has no mundane connection with any social or political institution. He is the original personality of Godhead performing his pastimes for the benefit of the entire universe. Translation from 12 through 17. So Krishna has arrived on the scene of Akrura's house, and Akrura is watching Krishna approaching his house. Then Lord Krishna, wanting to have some things done, went to Akrura's house with Balaram and Uddhava. The Lord also desired to please Akrura. Purport. The previous incident of Lord Krishna's visit to Trivakra's house and now his visit to Akrura's gives a fascinating glimpse into the daily activities of Sri Krishna in Mathura city. Akrura stood up in great joy when he saw them. His own relatives and the greatest of exalted personalities coming from a distance. After embracing them and greeting them, Akrura bowed down to Krishna and Balaram and was greeted by them in return. Then, when his guests had taken their seats, he worshipped them in accordance with scriptural rules. Purport. Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Lord Sri Krishna and the other approached Akrura in a friendly attitude. At first, Akrura reciprocated that friendly mood. And then, in the course of showing them hospitality, he adopted his natural devotional attitude toward the Lord and thus offered his obeisances to Sri Krishna and Sri Balaram. O King, Akrura had bathed the feet of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram and then poured the bath water on his head. He presented them with gifts of fine clothing, aromatic sandalwood paste, flower garlands, and excellent jewelry. After thus worshipping the two lords, he bowed his head to the floor. He then began to massage Lord Krishna's feet, placing them on his lap. And with his head bowed in humility, he addressed Krishna and Balaram as follows. Akrura said, "It is our good fortune that you two lords have killed the evil Kamsa and his followers, thus delivering your dynasty from endless suffering and causing it to flourish." Then today's verse that we recited. You both are the original Supreme Person, the cause of the universe and its very substance. Not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product of creation exists apart from you. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं Hare Krishna. Indeed, it's a great pleasure and happiness for me to discuss on this exalted topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Moreover, its 10th canto, and that too one of the greatest devotees' characters to be discussed in this section of Bhagavatam, that is Sri Akrura. So, I have been asked to speak on the said subject, as well as I have been also instructed to discuss on the glories of Akshaya Tritiya. Honestly speaking, it's injustice to both the topics, because Akshaya Tritiya can be discussed for about not less than couple of hours, and even Akrura's glories, if you see my notes, we can go on and on for at least 3 days. But still, today's age and time and era, we shrink in everything into small memory card and then present it. So we'll try in the stipulated time of next 45 minutes, as much as my fragile and limited intelligence and whatever meager amount of experience of Krishna consciousness I have, and whatever I have heard and read from Srila Prabhupada, his lectures and books, I'll try to repeat. Meanwhile, I hope and pray that you renounce your mobile phones and your attachments to watching the alerts on the WhatsApp for next 45 minutes. And I seek your blessings, as well as I seek the blessings of all great stalwarts and who are watching this class or hearing this class on YouTube. Now they are watching YouTube on live, and they will be hearing it afterwards also, some of the great people. Because of circumstances, they could not come here now. So I seek their blessings also and your blessings also, online blessings and offline blessings. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So first we'll describe about Akrura's glories. So till now in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we discussed about how Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, he visits the house of Trivakra, that's Kubja. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in his commentary, Sarartha Darshini, he says, this Kubja was Bhu Shakti. If you see Lord Balaji in Tirupati, he has Bhu Shakti and Shri. So that Kubja was Bhu Shakti. Some of the acharyas, they say she was Shurpanakha. She had lusty approach towards Lord Ramachandra, and that same Ramachandra, he came in the form of Krishna, he fulfilled her desires of lust. And if you study that section of the Bhagavatam, that Kubja was very, very lusty, very lusty. And in the course of description, Srila Shukdev Goswami explains, as soon as Kubja worshipped and touched the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, all her lusty desires were fulfilled. All her lusty desires were fulfilled. And what we can learn from that pastime is, in this material world, if you go from Brahma Loka up to Patal Loka in the planetary system, no male, no female, and no she-male can fulfill your lusty desires. it is only Krishna, and Krishna can satisfy our lusty desires. If you see the section of Yayati Maharaj, he enjoyed his lusty desires up to 1,000 years. And when he was ascending to the heavenly, or he was ascending to Vaikuntha planets, he announces there, no amount of beauty, no amount of wealth, and no amount of food and power can satisfy anybody's desires. And he was a king, he was a monarch. Just imagine how much he could have enjoyed at his fullest capacities. Even Hiranyakashipu, Ravana also, they tried their level best. So, only Krishna can satisfy our lusty desires. Nobody else. So, this conviction we get from Kubja's pastime. Thereafter, in the 11th verse, Shukadeva Goswami says, it was very difficult, even it's very difficult to get Duraradhyam Samaradhya Vishnum Sarveshwareshwaram Yo Vrunite Manograhyam. So it's very difficult to achieve Krishna's mercy or his audience. But still, some or other, we approach Krishna, we should not ask material benefits or sense gratification. That's the warning given by Shukadeva Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ama bhaje ei murkha mage vishaya sukha. He is worshipping me and he is looking after, he is requesting and he is praying for materialistic happiness. Ami bhigya ei murkha vishaya kena dibe. So charanamrita diya vishaya bhulaiba. I give the nectar of my lotus feet and I make him forget this materialistic pleasure. That's the mission of the Lord. So thereafter, the verses that we recited today, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. In summary, we try to discuss about those verses. It's mentioned, in order to do some other things, kinchit chikirshaya. That means, Srila Sridhar Swami says, desiring to go to Hastinapur. Kinchit chikirshaya means Sridhar Swami understood in this way. He says he wanted to go to Hastinapur as well as he wanted to meet Akrura. So, first we'll discuss about the verses and then we'll come back to Akrura's glories. So, just to please Akrura, Krishna bade farewell to Kubja. Actually, Kubja wanted Krishna to stay with her for a longer period of time. But Krishna says, I have some other things to do. And then she goes to Akrura. As soon as Akrura sees Krishna, how Krishna and his friend Uddhava, his elder brother Balram, they were approaching Akrura's house, Akrura Bhavan. He was very happy, he was very jubilant. And as we see, he was celebrating Krishna's arrival. And then, as we see in this case, he welcomed Krishna, he washed his lotus feet. And then, it is said that Apo, the word Apo means whatever Charnamrut Akrura received through that Abhishekam, Akrura, he sprinkled all over his body and his family's body. It's mentioned there. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Mrujaha. Mruja means Akrura took Krishna's lotus feet on his lap, as we see in the verses, and he started massaging them. He gave them exceedingly fine clothing. Whatever best Sri Akrura was having with him, he offered everything to Krishna and Balaram. As we see in the case of Sudama, sometimes some people say on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, that is today, Sudama visited Krishna in Dwarka. As we see, he had at best some broken tandul, prutaka tandule, broken pieces of rice, and he offered to Krishna. That was the best thing he had. And Akrura was having everything at its class. exceedingly fine quality. And he offered to Krishna. Krishna was pleased. And then it is said that, as we say in the shloka number 17, it is better that you have killed Kamsa, the wretched person who troubled our dynasty. And now everybody is peaceful. That's how Akrura is glorifying Krishna and Balaram. Kamsa and his followers. If you see carefully, Krishna only killed Kamsa. Kamsa had many brothers and they were killed by Balaram. Krishna did not kill Kamsa's brothers. You know why? Because Kamsa was cursed that he will be killed by Krishna. But his brothers were not cursed like that. And Kamsa's brothers means Krishna's mamas, uncles. So Krishna was not bound to kill other mamas, 7 except Kans mama. So he arranged Balram to kill them. And they were not Balram's mama. Balram's mother is Rohini. Okay? They are not Balram's mama. They are not Balram's uncles. That's why Krishna is such a perfect manager or a fighter. Everything at its perfection. So he arranged Balram to kill other brothers of Kamsa. Many were there. That's why Akrura says, both of you have killed Kamsa and his followers and many other army personnel. And then he realized, oh, I have connected Krishna Balaram to some mundane family affairs. Then he realized, Srila Jiva Goswami says, in the 17th verse, he prays according to dynasty. If you see, it's very nice. Srila Jiva Goswami gives high realization. Dishtya papo hata kansa sanugo vamidam kulam. Hato kansaha. You have killed Kamsa, who was very troublesome to the kulam, to the family. Bhavadbhyam udhrutam. Both of you have killed Krishna, Akansa and their followers. It's very nice. Thank you very much. That's how Akrura is glorifying. And then in the 18th verse, he realized, oh, Krishna and Balaram, they are not only connected to this Bhoja dynasty or Yadu dynasty. Who are they? Then in the 18th verse, he says, Yuvam pradhana purusho. Yuvam means both of you. Yuvam means both of you. Pradhana purusho. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Sridhar Swami, they go in a deeper sense. They explain, what is this pradhana purusho? Why did Akrura is offering this verse? Earlier he said, you killed Kans mama. And that's how our family is happy now. And now he's shifting his prayer directly to the universal concept. To a philosophical concept. Drastic change in the prayer. Immediate. Why so? Because he understood and he realized that Krishna is not only connected to this family itself. Krishna is the source of all the dynasties. He is the source of everything. Krishna and Balaram, they are the source of everything. That's why he is saying, Yuvan Pradhana Purusho, Jagat Hetu Jaganmayo. Not only this family of dynasty of Bhojas, Andhakas, Vrishnis or Yadus. Jagat Hetu. You are the cause of this material world. Hetu. You have some certain purpose. Hetu. For this material world. At the same time, you are the effect of this material world. What is that effect? Jaganmayo. Not only you created this material universe and the living entities and everybody, but at the same time you have become one of the part of this universe. And you are doing your wonderful pastimes. Jaganmayo. You are traversing the path of this earth and you are following the principles of this material world. That's why this world Jaganmayo comes and Jagat Hetu comes. It's containing with twofold meanings. Krishna is the cause of everything and he is the effect of everything. That's why he says, Bhavadbhyam na vina. So without both of you, means you pervade everything. श्री श्री राधा रास बिहारी की जय, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय. Both of you pervade everything. Not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product of creation exists apart from you. We, the followers of Krishna consciousness movement, most of the time the sadhakas, we misunderstand certain things. How? We say, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvaka. Krishna is the cause of cause, all causes, okay? He created this universe, he came in he appeared in various incarnations, and he killed various demons, and he established religion. And then about 5,000 years ago he came, he established religion in the form of Dharmaraj Yudhishthir Maharaj, he gave Bhagavad-gita, and then he departed. He is into it in his Golok Vrindavan. That is our misunderstanding. And then again we study, that same Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he established Yuga Dharma of Harinam Sankirtan, he gave his mercy to all fallen souls, and he again went back home, back to God. That is again our second misunderstanding. How you know? Our problem is that we don't accept Krishna is the current president of this material world. Our problem is that Krishna came and Krishna went. He is in his own abode. Our misunderstanding is that we feel Krishna is not in action in this material world. That is our problem. This is how the material life begins. What Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita? Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. Everything is moving, everything that we see, char and achar. They are acting because of Krishna. They are acting under the presidency of Krishna. Maya adhyakshena. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says adhyaksh. This word he defines. Adhi aksh. Aksh means eyes. Adhi means everything has to go through his vision. Everything. That means our mobile password, our ATM password, our GPay, PhonePe, ATM, Paytm, everything. Everything has to go through him. He is the president of this material world. He is the president of our life. He is the president of our family. He is the president of our country. He is the president of all that be. Everything. And he is still in action. He is still existing. Our misunderstanding is that Krishna appeared and he went back home, back to Godhead. He is working from there through his distant energies. And when we do nice devotional service, we will go to him. But he is still within our heart. Annantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. He is everywhere. That's the problem. That's what we learn from this shloka. Bhavadbhyam na vina kinchit param asti na chaparam. Not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product of creation exists apart from you. Nothing exists apart from Krishna. That means everything exists within Krishna. We also, and our all property, our fame, prestige, our all near and dear ones, everything that is existing within Krishna's surveillance. You know, CCTV footage they have, and they have this, notice, you are under CCTV surveillance. It's Krishna's surveillance everywhere, even in the bathroom and toilet, where there is no CCTV. It's Krishna's surveillance. That's what this shloka is saying. Not the slightest subtle cause or manifest product. We are manifest product. We also don't exist without Krishna. And that's how we see in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, 7th verse, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Nothing exists without me, even slightly. Kinchit. You understand what a kinchit? Even of a size of an amoeba. You understand amoeba? Or an atom. Everything is existing because of Krishna's mercy. And Krishna is everywhere. That's why Brahmaji says, Andantarastu Paramanu. Even in Paramanu, Krishna is there. He is managing the activities of Paramanu. You understand? Our Andhashraddha, our superstition is that he is in his Golok Vrindavan. We don't have to take anything. We don't have anything with him. When we do devotional service, we go there and then we meet Krishna. That's the problem. And that's how we start suffering in this material world. So in this verse we learn that we are existing because of Krishna's mercy and we are under his shelter. And when we regain this consciousness, we are in full Krishna consciousness. And when we forget this consciousness, we are in Maya's consciousness. That's the only difference between a happy living entity and a miserable living entity. This belongs to Krishna and this belongs to Krishna. Otherwise we think this belongs to me. When we forget Krishna, Krishna bhuli jiva bhogavancha kare. That's how we start, desiring lusty things and so many other things, and we suffer. So, in conclusion, from the prayers of Akrura, we learn that we are existing because of Krishna's mercy, even now, today, at this moment. And our everything, all existence is because of Krishna. And He is handling and He is managing our lives. The problem happens when we disconnect everything from Krishna. The small example is of the doctor. When we see doctor's hand behind the injection, I hope you have taken some injections or the vaccinations. When we see the doctor's hand behind the injection, it will pain little less. Okay? And if we see the hand of somebody else, like me or somebody else who is not in the medical line, if we see the hand of somebody else behind the injection, if we see the injection in my hand and I am trying to give you, how much will it be the pain? It will be miserable. It will be miserable. So similarly, when we see Krishna's hand in everything, in happiness and distress, then the miseries of this world will be less. And when we disconnect Krishna and we connect somebody, iske karan hua, uske karan hua, because of him, because of her, this is how it has happened, and we start suffering more than ever before. That's how. That is the conclusion of today's section of Bhagavatam that we are trying to discuss. Actually, we can discuss at length. There are so many nice words in this section from 12 to 18. But still, I have to discuss something about Akshaya Tritiya. So this is just an introduction on Akrura's prayers to Lord Krishna and Balaram. I have not even begun Akrura's life sketch. Prahlad Maharaj offers this advice to his father. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Punsar Pita Vishnur Bhakti Chen Avalakshana. So, Bhagavad Dharma is performed through this ninefold devotional service. Out of those, there is one service which is called as Vandanam. Every devotional service that Shravan Kirtan is presided over by one Acharya. Shravan by Parikshit Maharaj, Kirtan by Shukdev Goswami, Smaran by Prahlad Maharaj, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Lakshmi Devi, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam by Prithu Maharaj, and Vandanam by Akrura, and then Vandanam, Sakhyam, that is Sakhya is Hanumanji, Atmanivedan, Bali Maharaj. So, just imagine, he is an Acharya in the department of how to offer prayers, Vandanam. And we can achieve perfection by this devotional service. And there is a whole life sketch of Akrura, how we can be purified by the mercy of Akrura Maharaj. And I don't have time to discuss about his life sketch. But Srila Prabhupada says in Krishna book, if you read how Akrura approaches Vrindavan, and Prabhupada writes there, one should read those prayers of Akrura while going to Vrindavan. Akrura gets off his chariot on the way to Vrindavan and he sees Krishna Balram's footprint marks. There are so many auspicious marks on the lotus foot of Krishna, Balarama and Radharani also. There could be a whole class on this marks, auspicious marks on the lotus feet of the Lord. That's a altogether different subject matter. And Akrura starts glorifying and offering prayers. And Prabhupada writes, one should read those prayers while going to Vrindavan Dham. And he is the Acharya for Vandanam. He offered so many beautiful prayers. And one or two we are trying to discuss. Still, we have not yet touched the inner meanings of those prayers. What is Vandanam? Prayers. What is that? Talking to Krishna. You may offer prayers in Sanskrit, you may offer prayers in Bengali, you may offer prayers in whichever language you feel. It's like talking to Krishna, expressing our heartfelt feelings. Expressing our heartfelt feelings. Basically, we should repeat the prayers of the previous acharyas. And Akrura is the department head, he is the dean of Vandanam, he is the acharya of Vandanam. We can repeat the prayers of Akrura. And Srila Prabhupada says we can repeat the prayers of Narottam Das Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. They come in Vandanam. When we come in front of their Lordship SriSriRadhaRasbihari, our problem is that we just kind of offer obeisances. We do not even recite the mantras for our spiritual master or Srila Prabhupada or the previous acharyas or even to their lordships. We just touch somewhat like that, just like as if like we are doing something great activity of devotional service, and we wake up within half a second. We should offer prayers. Haridas Thakur used to offer such prayers. Mahaprabhu would lift him. When Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami approached first time to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli, they were offering prayers while being on the ground only. Mattulyo nasti papatma na aparadhicha kashyana. Pariharye rapi lajjami kimbruve purushottame. So Dandavat means offering our Vani also. Whole body at the same time Kaya Vacha Man means Vani also. And if you do not offer prayers while offering Dandavat, that Dandavat is Vifala. That's not complete Dandavat. That's not complete Dandavat. At the same time, we have to see the circumstances around us. If there is a whole crowd behind us, then in the mind only you chant prayers and go back. And when there is space, then you offer prayers. Otherwise, some people I see, they start offering whole Mangala Charanam. Entire crowd is waiting for them to stand up. Just be conscious about your surroundings. When there is no rush, and if you take out some time, come and offer all the prayers that you like. And specifically Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, that's like fantastic devotional service. It's like talking to Krishna face to face. Face to face. And believe me, it's my personal experience also. If you offer such heartfelt prayers to Radha Rasbihari, there is some higher experience of devotional service, of Krishna consciousness. We feel nourished. We feel nourished. You know why their lordships have appeared in the form of deities? To accept our Dandavat Pranams, to accept our prayers. Because he is Adhokshaja, Tvam Akinchana Gochara. Krishna cannot be perceived with our mundane material senses. But still, out of his causeless mercy, by the mercy of the acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Krishna appears in the form of deities, just to accept and receive our vandanam, prayers, our pranams and other services. It's a great benefit, it's a golden opportunity that we take out our time and come in the temple hall, apart from the routine timetable. Many devotees I see, they come in the Mangalarti, they are there in the temple hall up to 9:30 or 9 a.m. and they disappear. Thereafter they come again in the next morning. And it's a routine life. And hardly a person like me is cautious about there is Radha Krishna, they are standing there, they are listening, they are watching me. It's a routine, like mechanical. So, Srimad Bhagavatam 2nd canto says, Shrunvata Shraddhaya Nityam Kurnatascha Swacheshtitam. Swacheshtitam, our special conscious efforts. Special means out of the routine track, and conscious means for what reason we are offering this prayer. And efforts, we have to take out some time and plan accordingly and come in front of the lordships and offer some prayers. We should pray for ourselves, we should pray for others also. Although we may not be so pure to offer prayers, but we can repeat the prayers. And if you are not having that much knowledge of offering prayer, just you pray that you get some prayers. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he was not having that much ability. Then Lord Narayana touched his conch shell to his head and he offered eloquent poetry, poems. So we can do that. It's our great fortune that Srila Prabhupada invited SriSriRadhaRasbihari from Golok Vrindavan. And still we are so callous. We are so negligent. We eat 2 times and we come 1 time in the temple hall. At least 2 times minimum. We should come whenever we find free time, or we should take out some time and come in the morning. One devotee asked me, why are you going 2 times in the temple hall? I said, at least I eat 2 times. I should go and offer obeisances and prayers to the Lordships at least 2 times. They should be offered many times. But we are careless. We are not so cautious about their Lordship's presence over here. But still, there are some devotees who do that. It's not that everybody is careless. It's our great fortune that we can come here and following the footsteps of Akrura, we can offer prayers to their Lordships as much as we can do. They don't get tired. They don't get bored because they are there already in our heart. They know what's there in the hard disk. They know they will not get bored. They will hear you. And believe me, your life will not be the same if you consistently offer prayers. That's the glory of Vandanam being taught to us by Akrura. Jai Shri Akrura Maharaj ki. Still there are so many pastimes of Akrura. Hare Krishna. How much I can complete. But still, I have to discuss something about Akshaya Tritiya. There are 3.5 muhurtas in the whole of year in Vedic calendar. They are considered very, very auspicious. A muhurta consists of only 48 minutes. As they say in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says, Katvango nama rajarshir gnatve itam iha ayusha. Muhurtat sarvam utsrujya gatavan abhayam hari. Shukadeva Goswami was encouraging Parikshit Maharaj, you have at least 7 days. Maharaj Khatvanga had only 1 muhurta. Prabhupada translates 1 movement. And some say it's 48 minutes, muhurta. Both are correct. Both are correct. If Prabhupada is saying, that means correct. Only that much time Maharaj Khatvanga had. And still, he just chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. And he went back home, back to Godhead. And thus he is glorifying. Tatapi tarihi kauravya saptaham jivit avadhi. My dear Parikshit Maharaj, you have 7 days of time. Tavadyat samparayikam. I will do all the ritualistic and other activities for the perfection of your life. Don't worry. That's how. It's very interesting. Khatvanga Raja, only 1 muhurta. Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days. Narada boy, 4 months. Dhruva Maharaj, 6 months. How many years we are in Krishna consciousness? The problem is of intensity. Intensity. We are watering the weeds than the Bhakti Lata. That's the problem. But these 3.5 days, that is Gudi Padwa first, Chaitra Shuddha Pratipada first. Second is Akshaya Tritiya, Vaishak Shukla Tritiya. Third is Vijaya Dashmi, Dashahara, the day when Lord Ramachandra killed Ravana. And the half, that is Bali Pratipada, the next day of Deepavali Lakshmi Pujan. That's half Muhurta, or the half day is Muhurta. Other 3 days are full Muhurtas. Entire 24 hours are auspicious. All 24 hours are auspicious. And out of those 3, Akshaya Tritiya is always glorified much more than other 3. Why? There are so many beautiful pastimes. Some say it's the beginning of Treta Yuga. On that day Treta Yuga begins. Also some say that is the day when barley corn, the jaw, that's there on the base of the toe of Lord Krishna, on the right toe, at the base, there is a barley corn on Krishna's lotus feet, Rasbihari's lotus feet. From there it appeared in this material world on the day of Akshaya Tritiya. You are able to follow me? Krishna has so many footprints, auspicious marks. And the barley corn appeared from there on the Akshaya Tritiya. in the material world for the purpose of performing Swaha, Swaha, Kruteya Dhyato Vishnu Tretayam Yajato Makhe. Some people also say that is the day when Sudamaji visited Krishna. And some say that Vedavyas compiled Srimad Bhagavatam on this day. It is said that Yudhishthira Maharaj received Akshaya Patra on this day. And on this day, this Akshaya Patra is kept upside down in Udupi. It's there in Udupi now, of Madhvacharya. Generally, it's upside down. Today, it's kept in a proper format. J.R. Narsinga in Simachalam, there are about, I have collected about 25 significances of Akshaya Tritiya. I don't have time to discuss all of them, but whatever I can, I will try to recite. In Simachalam, there is a deity called J.R. Narsinga. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there. It's half Varaha and half Narsinga. You know why? Prahlad Maharaj requested their lordships, my dear Lord, मेरे काका को और मेरे पापा को जिसने मारा वो एक ही फॉर्म में आ जाओ. Means my uncle was killed by Varahadev, my father was killed by Narsingadev. Both of you come in one format. So they appeared in one format, that is J.R. Narsinga. Varaha and Narsinga, all of them, both of them are mixed together. And today is the day they give their full darshan. Otherwise, rest of the year, 359 days of the year, they are covered over with sandalwood pulp. Today is the day you can have their full darshan. And the temple was built by, you know, Aila, what is that? Urvashi and Pururava. The temple, old temple was built by Pururava for J.R. Narsinga. There is a whole story. Vijayadhwaja Tirtha appeared today in the line of Madhvacharya. There is a whole festival in Kumbakonam today for their lordships on the occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Today is the day Lord Badri Vishal starts giving his divine darshan to mankind. Otherwise, on the day of Diwali, the demigods start worshipping. No human being can worship. But today, he starts giving his auspicious darshan. And for us, for ISKCON followers, Jagannath Puris, Rath Yatras, those chariots, they begin to make those chariots on the auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. There are so many things. And it is said that Adi Shankaracharya composed his Kanakadhara Stotra on this day. Once he visited some lady's house and she didn't have anything to offer Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya. He asked, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. She said, nothing is there. Why nothing is there? Shankaracharya ordered Lakshmi Devi or requested Lakshmi Devi, please give some, some dhana, some fortune to this lady. And he prayed through this Kanakadhara. Kanak means gold, stotra. And many people, in order to get some Kanaka, they recite this Kanakadhara stotra. But actually, for Adi Shankaracharya, original Kanaka is Ramanam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. And then, there is a beautiful pastime in Nandagaon, which happens today only, that is Akshaya Tritiya. Actually, there is some astrological calculation. The outside people, they say Akshaya Tritiya is today, that is 22nd April. But according to ISKCON calendar, Vaishnava calendar, it's tomorrow. It's not today. So, tomorrow we may not be able to discuss on this pastime. So that's why I have been instructed to tell some of the stories. Today also is the day when Kubera becomes the cashier of the demigods. That's why many people in the outside world, if you say Akshaya Tritiya, they want to be cashier, they want to get some gold. That's the reason. That's the reason. And then For Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya followers, Chandan Yatra starts. For Kirichar Gopinath, Madhvendra Puri started, and following the footsteps of Madhvendra Puri, all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradayas and ISKCON, we apply sandalwood paste to their lordships, and here also we'll be applying to Radha Rasbihari the sandalwood paste tomorrow on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, just to make them feel cooling experience, give them cooling experience. And then Annapurna Devi, she appeared. There is a whole story. There is a whole story of Annapurna Devi, how Lord Shankara in Varanasi, he goes on begging. There was once quarrel between husband and wife. Shiva Parvati had some quarrel, and Parvati Mata did not offer any food to Lord Shankara. Then he goes on begging. Annapurna Devi offers food to Lord Shankara, and that's the day. That's Akshaya Tritiya. Annapurna Devi appeared today. And then it's one of the most important days because Lord Parshuram appeared on this day. Kshatriya Rudhira Maye Jagadapagat Papam Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Bhrugupati Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. There is a whole fantastic pastime how Lord Parshuram appeared. There was some gadbad with Ruchika Muni and his wife Savitri and her mother. And because of that exchange of kheer, Lord Parshuram appeared. The whole pastime is there. I am just giving you bullet points. And then it is said that Vyasdeva starts compiling Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata there are about 100 verses, 100,000 verses. That's 1 lakh verses. Out of those 1 lakh, there are 8,000 verses are Kuta Shlokas. Kuta Shlokas means they are very secret Shlokas. Unless you ponder upon and think properly, you cannot understand those verses. When Vyasdeva started compiling Bhagavatam, Ganesha said, you should not stop it. You should go on reciting on fast speed. I'll go on compiling it. And Vyasdeva, he said, first you should understand and then you should write. I will not stop, but first you should understand what I am saying. And that's how Vyasdeva would give one shloka, which was very difficult. Ganesh would take some time. Then Vyasdeva would go ahead. And some of the shlokas are like this. Vyasdeva would say, what is that thing which is a remnant, uchishta, which we offer to Krishna? क्या है वो? क्या? दूध. गाय का पहले बछड़ा पीता है. First the calf drinks, then the milk is offered to Krishna. Ganesh would take some time to think, what is that? What is that? Meanwhile, Vyasdeva would compose some further verses. And then second, what is that thing which we offer to Krishna, which is thrown out of somebody's mouth? Uchishta is something different. Again, completely they drink and then they throw it out. What is that? Mud. That is honey. We offer to Krishna. Abhishek karte hain. We offer Abhishek to Krishna. What is that thing we offer to Krishna? It's a vomit. What is that? We offer to Krishna with lot of pomp and festivities. You know what is that? Yes. Silk. Silk. Those silk worms, they vomit. And then the silk clothes are being made and we offer to Krishna. Isn't it? That's pure silk. Nowadays, just to make money, they kill the worms. That's not proper. That's not good. But in the Vedic text, it's mentioned the original silkworms. Cocoons? So that's how Vyasdeva would introduce some Kuta Shloka, then Ganesh would try to take some time to understand and Vyasdeva would go ahead. That was the day. And I'll tell, there are many things, but I'll just tell two more pastimes and stop over here because Today is also the day when Ganga Maya appeared on the earthly planet. On the earthly planet. She appeared in heavenly planets. But she appeared on the earthly planet today. That's Akshaya Tritiya. So Akshaya Tritiya is on both days. Today also and tomorrow also. Take it for granted. So, as we see in the case of Vamandev, Chalayasi Vikramane Balimadbhuta Vaman Padanakha Nirajanita Jana Pavan Keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. In Svargaloka, she is called as Mandakini. On the earthly planet, she is called as Bhagirati Ganga. And in the lower planetary system, Bhogavati. On the earthly planet, when Bhagirath was bringing her, she appeared on the day of Akshaya Tritiya. That's how. So another beautiful pastime that happened in Vrindavan, Nandagaon. Nanda Baba every day, although Krishna and Balram were his children, his sons, still he was hearing Krishna Katha. He did not miss any Bhagavatam class. Every day he would hear. Although he was the father of Krishna, he was hearing every day. So one fine day he was hearing the glories of Prayagraj. You know Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh, where Mother Ganga and Yamuna, they merge together. That's called as Prayagraj. And Nanda Baba hears the glories of Prayagraj and he immediately packs up. He readies his bullock carts and he packs his baggage. He makes Krishna's baggage also. He did not ask Krishna, will you come? He just packed his bag. Let us go. Where, Baba? Prayagraj Jana. We will go to Prayagraj. For what? We will take bath. It's a very holy place. We'll go there. Why should we go there? We should go to be purified by the holy touch of those waters. We should go there. Can we go after 2-3 days? Why? No. We will go after 2-3 days. Okay. Nanda Baba agrees. And then what happens? The next day was Akshaya Tritiya. Nanda Baba woke up from Nanda Bhavan. He came down in Pavan Sarovar. You see Pavan Sarovar? You know? It is there at the foothills of Nandeshwar. Pavan Sarovar. He comes there with Krishna Balaram to take bath. And he sees one black sort of African person. Very black. Very black. And he was just smearing all the dust which was there in Nandagaon around the banks of this Pavan Sarovar, and he was taking bath in Pavan Sarovar again and again. Nanda Baba was curious. Hey, who are you? I never saw you here ever before. Who are you? What's your name? He says, I am Prayagraj. So what are you doing here? My dear sir, people from all over the world, they come and they deposit their sin in my waters. And in this way I become sinful. That's how I have become so blackish. And I come here in this Pavan Sarovar to take bath and purify myself. Nanda Baba immediately cancelled all his tickets. He dissolved his plan of going to Prayagraj. Shri Nanda Baba ki. So Nanda Baba cancels his plan. All the holy tirthas are there in Vrindavan Dham. That's the same story with Adi Badri. Badrinath, he had a plan to go to Badrinath. Kedarnath, he had a plan to go to Gaya. He had a plan to go to Mother Ganga also to take bath in Haridwar. Krishna brings all of them. There is a fascinating story about all of these pastimes. If Krishna desires, we'll discuss all those pastimes whenever possible. That happened today. And for ISKCON followers, it's a very important day, Akshaya Tritiya. You know why? If you read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, you will see one beautiful pastime of Srila Prabhupada when he was in Jhansi. Srila Prabhupada, this is my honest opinion. If you read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrut, compiled by His Holiness Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj, if you read this Srila Prabhupada Lilamrut with honest heart, you will cry. And if you don't cry, that means you have a stone heart. By reading Srila Prabhupada's struggle And specifically in Delhi and Jhansi, our heart melts. Such hard struggle. Such hard struggle. Very, 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 very hard struggle Prabhupada underwent, specifically in Jhansi. He comes to Jhansi, and if you read Lilamrut, Prabhupada was walking miles and miles together. Prabhupada once walked 30 miles to meet Maithili Sharan Gupta, the great poet of Hindi. 30 miles or little less than that, but he walked. He didn't have money to go there. There are so many enchanting pastimes of Srila Prabhupada in Jhansi. And there happened a big house, a kind of a castle, which was forsaken. And Prabhupada saw that castle and he thought of making that as his headquarters. And then there was a lady who was the wife of a former governor. The governor's name was Mr. K.M. Munshi. Mrs. Munshi was little favorable with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada negotiated with her. Not negotiation, she just offered it. And Prabhupada made his headquarters. And Prabhupada made whole prospectus, whole memoranda of his world headquarters in Jhansi. And he registered. And do you know the registered day? That was Akshaya Tritiya. Prabhupada writes there, Srila Prabhupada ki. And if you see ISKCON 7 purposes, they are there in the same league of devotees also. More or less. They are there also. And Prabhupada writes, on the day of Akshaya Tritiya, we registered here in Jhansi. But the problem happened afterwards. There was a friend of that Mrs. Munshi, her name was Chandramukhi. Although her name was Chandramukhi, but he created Jwalamukhi in Srila Prabhupada's efforts. She had another friend. And both of them, they organized one Mahila Melava. And so-called Tathakatit, Purogami, understand? So-called modern people, they glorified her too much, that Chandramukhi. And the wife of Mr. Munshi, she was enamored by that glorification, and all of them, they resolved that this house which we have given to Swamiji, we will make our headquarters for Mahila Mandal. And they conspired. And they requested Prabhupada. They demanded Prabhupada 5,000 rupees. Prabhupada said, oh, you just offered me. Why are you asking money? Prabhupada didn't have money to travel from one place to another place. And they were asking 5,000 rupees 60 years before. 65 years before. Can you imagine? And Prabhupada was helpless. He was deprived of that facility. But Prabhupada tried that huge project of International Society for Krishna Consciousness on this day of Akshaya Tritiya in Jhansi. So just imagine how much Prabhupada regarded Akshaya Tritiya as an auspicious day to start our devotional service vigorously. So there are so many things and pastimes. I just summarized in a running commentary with Akrura's prayers and Akrura's life sketch. On this day, we should pray to Radha Rasbihari, we should vow to Srila Prabhupada that we will try to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions, chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, trying to spread his mission, distributing his books, reading his books, and being nice with our fellow members. It's very difficult. Srila Prabhupada said, if you want to please me, distribute my books. Prabhupada also said, you can show me your love by how you cooperate with others. All those principles we should try to follow just to please Srila Prabhupada. And we can reaffirm our vows to Srila Prabhupada on this auspicious day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So, it's time up now. I don't feel to take questions, but I would prefer to recite our Dashavatar Stotra. Is it okay? Because there are so many things that have happened through Dashavatar today. Is there? श्री जयदेव गोस्वामी की श्री दशावतार स्तोत्र की प्रलय पयोधि जले धृतवानसि वेदम विहित वहित्र चरित्रमखेदम प्रलय पयोधि जले धृतवानसि वेदम विहित वहित्र चरित्रमखेदम केशवधृता मीन शरीर जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। बोलो केशवधृता मीन शरीर जय जगदीश क्षितिर्हा विपुलतरे तिष्ठति तव पृष्ठे धरणिधरण किरणचक्रगरिष्ठे। बोलो धरणि केशवधृता शुकर रूप क्या केशवधृता कूर्म शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। वसति दशन शिखरे धरणी तव लग्ना शशिनि कलंक कलेव निमग्ना। केशवधृता शुकर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। तव कर कमल वरे नखाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगाम। केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। केशवधृता नरहरि छलयसि विक्रमणे बलिमद्भुत वामन पदनखनीरजनित जन पावन। केशवधृता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे क्षत्रिय रुधिरमये जगदपगत पापं स्नपयसे पयसि शामित भवतापम् केशवधृता भृगुपति रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वितरसि दिक्षुराणे दिक्पति कमनीयं दशमुखमौलिबलिं रमणीयम् केशवधृता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे वह शिव पुषि विशदे वसनं जलदाभं हलहति भीति मिलित यमुनाभम् केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे निन्दसि यज्ञविदेरः श्रुतिजातं सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघातम् केशवधृता बुद्ध शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे म्लेच्छ निवह निधने कलियसि करवालम् धूमकेतुम् इव किमपि करालम् केशवधृता कल्कि शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे श्री जय देव कवेरिदमुदितमुदारां शृणु सुखदं शुभदं भवसाराम् श्री जय देव कवेरिदमुदितमुदारां शृणु सुखदं शुभदं भवसाराम् शृणु सुख केशवधृता दशविधरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे के जय Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada श्री अक्षय तृतीया महोत्सव की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री अक्रूर महाराज की Srila Jayodha Goswami gives blessing that anybody who recites or hears this Dashavatara Stotra, he will get Shrunu Sukhadam, he will get happiness, he will get all auspiciousness, and he will be crossing the sagar, ocean of birth and death, and he will go back home, back to Godhead. And you just imagine on the day of Akshaya Tritiya. Srila Jayadeva Goswami ki, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much.